everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And a little while ago, I took a bit of a look, a bit of an overview I gave on the brand new Hasbro Kenner Classic figures of the Green Ghost Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And I got a couple of emails, a couple of messages from people giving me a bit of heat, saying that it wasn't a proper review, you never even unboxed them. Well, you know what? I got an extra Green Ghost now, I got an extra Stay Puft. I'm gonna right that wrong, and today on Ghostbusters News, we're gonna unbox these and we're gonna show you guys just how cool they really are. So yeah, today it is another unboxing video featuring Hasbro's Real Ghostbusters Kenner Classic figures, and if you missed our unboxing of the main 4 Ghostbusters, Ray, Peter, Winston, and Egon, we've got that up on the channel right now. Now before I get too deep into today's video there, I would like to send a few shout outs to a couple of the most recent Ghostbusters News Patreon members. So a huge thank you goes out to both Wayne Whitaker and Frankie Latham. Thank you for helping out Ghostbusters News, supporting us, liking what we do, and as always, if any of you guys out there would like to sign up to the Ghostbusters News Patreon page, we've got a link right down below in the description for you. Click it, sign up today, help out the channel, and get exclusive Ghostbusters content. I mean, help us out, get Ghostbusters content. There's no lose in that situation. It's all win. Sign up today. Link, description, right now. I mean, do it, but not like right now. After you watch this video, and then click it, and then sign up, and then do it. Thank you. Alright, so back to the main topic at hand. Hasbro's Real Ghostbusters Kenner Classics. I'm rubbing my hands, I'm licking my lips, I'm excited, I can't wait to open up the Slimer, the Green Ghost, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I don't know what the heck's happening in my voice right now. I'm just so excited. I can't wait. But before we unbox them, I do have to send out a couple of quick thank yous. First and foremost to Hasbro for helping out getting product to me up here in Canada for these video reviews. Hasbro, so far, you guys have been an amazing partner, and yeah, you're the best. I love you, Hasbro. And on top of that, for this review, I do want to thank Daniel Stevens of the Buffalo Ghostbusters. He actually was able to send up a set of both the Slimer, Green Ghost, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man Hasbro Real Ghostbusters Kenner Classics. You know the deal, you know the name of them. He sent me up the figures here today to make sure that not only did I have figures to open, but I also had figures to keep sealed in my collection. So that means the world to me. Daniel, thank you so much. You're amazing. The Buffalo Ghostbusters are amazing. Everybody's amazing. These figures today are amazing. Speaking of those amazing figures, let's start talking about them. But before I actually tear into these guys here and once again show you just how amazing they really, really are, let's do a quick look once again at the packaging. We did in our last video where we talked about these, but we might as well do it again. Taking a look at the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man packaging here, of course we got old Stay Puft there. Man, they did an awesome job once again with all these figures, recreating these old school Kenner figures. Once again, these are recreations, they are not re-releases, and we're going to touch on that a bit more later in this video. But right now the focus is on the packaging, and they once again did an amazing job at recreating that old school Kenner packaging. As I mentioned in the previous videos, yes, there are some differences here and there, but overall, unless you're like a hardcore Real Ghostbusters Kenner action figure collector, the main like front piece here, when you look at it to the untrained eye, I mean, this screams retro Kenner figures. It does not look like a recreation, at least to the majority of fans. And I love that old school art there with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man next to the huge building. We got Peter, we got Egon there, zapping the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man directly in his armpit. And turning the box around to the back here, of course, we've got the main 4 Ghostbusters advertised: Peter, Ray, Egon, Winston, Slimer, the Green Ghost, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And once again, I did touch on some of the differences between this packaging and the old school Kenner packaging. If you want to find out more of those differences, be sure to check out some of our past videos on, once again, these Hasbro Real Ghostbuster Kenner Classic figures. And you can check out all those videos right here on the Ghostbusters News YouTube channel. Flipping over to Slimer right quick here. Once again, amazing job. And I'm getting, oh my god, the nostalgia that I'm seeing Slimer with those 3 pieces of food, the watermelon, the pizza, the big slab of beef. And for those who keep wondering why the heck I keep saying Green Ghost, as you can see on the packaging here, this is before Slimer was referred to as Slimer. He was just, well, as you can see, the Green Ghost. And much like the Stay Puft one there, I love this art here of just a big gelatinous looking Slimer just about to scarf down a pizza. Alright, so the wait is over. Give me a second. Let's unbox the Green Ghost and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Alright, and we are kicking it off with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And in our last video where we took a look at the main four Ghostbusters, Ray, Egon, Winston, and Peter, we touched on the fact that these figures are actually recreations of the old school Kenner line. They are not re-releases, meaning that the molds used are actually different. And out of the 6 figures in the line, once again, the main four Ghostbusters, Slimer, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, I think it is most evident with Stay Puft. In fact, let's take old Stay Puft here, let's move him to the side. Once again, the one on the left here is the brand new Hasbro Stay Puft, and on the right, we're going to bring in the old school Kenner Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And once again, the Hasbro figure, it is a brand new mold here. But the first things I noticed, I mean, obviously there is a bit of a color difference. The one on the right here, the old school Kenner figure, I mean, it's like, 30 years old. So obviously it is not as white as the brand new Hasbro. You'll also notice that the Hasbro figure actually has a bit of height over the old school Kenner figure. Alright, now we got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man turned to the side. Once again, the Hasbro figure on the left, the original Kenner figure on the right. The Hasbro figure certainly has lost a bit of girth around the waistline. Now, it is obvious to tell the difference when you have these two figures side by side, but if you didn't, I mean, if you only had the Hasbro figure and you had your old school memories of the old school Kenner figure, from your childhood, would you really be able to, tell the difference when you first looked at it? I really don't think so. But flipping both figures around to the front here, let's focus in a bit on the facial details. And I mean, Stay Puft has a pretty simplistic look, and I mean, they did a really great job at recreating it. The biggest change up though, obviously, I mean, you can tell right now, is the eye areas. The original Kenner Stay Puft looks like he's kind of looking dead on at you, while the new Hasbro figure, it kind of looks like he's looking off to the left. I also feel like the new Hasbro figure has more of a squint going on. Aside from that though, small little details though, when it comes to the sailor's hat and everything, I think look really good. I mean, it's what you'd want out of a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man figure. And once again, there's not really a huge difference between the two regarding the hat. Same goes with the chest area, like the apron, the bib. Not really a huge change up there. I think really the only big difference, once again, is the fact that the new Stay Puft is certainly a bit slimmer than the original Stay Puft there. So, obviously the whole ribbon here, the bow area, looks a little different, but overall, the little details, the creasing and everything, is pretty much on point. Let's turn the old Stay Puft Marshmallow around to the back here, show you the back sides. Oh, little drunk, stand up Stay Puft, there you go. Once again here, I mean, the biggest thing I noticed here really is the color change. 30 years old to, fresh off the rack. Aside from that, really, really close here. So of course, when it comes to articulation as well, the new Hasbro release is identical to the old school Kenner figure. The head swivels back and forth there, the arms move up and down, and that is about it. 3 points of articulation. I mean, these are 80s action figures. I mean, based on 80s action figures. The legs obviously are part of the same body mold as the main body, so they don't move or anything. So we got head swivel, arms move up and down. That is about it. But once again, that is faithful to the old school Kenner action figure. Now, while I got these figures out as well, I do want to touch on a bit of the sculpting, a bit of the detail when it comes to, some of the finer details of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Kind of the sculpting in the hands here, both in the original Kenner figure and the Hasbro figure. Much like the main four Ghostbusters, and once again, I touched on this in the review, I do feel like some of the detail work is a bit softer in the Hasbro release. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing in your opinion, I'll leave that up to you. But for the most part, they did nail the once again the detail work in the hands. But once again, the work does appear a little bit softer in the new Hasbro figure. All right, now, so before we move on to Slimer, let's take a quick look at the copyrights found on the bottom feet of both Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. On the left here, we've got the brand new Hasbro release. Trademark 2020, all rights reserved, and yeah, made in China. And we also have a number on here, 00691. Not too sure what that means, but yeah, obviously taking a look at the Kenner figure on the right-hand side, they look completely different. With the Kenner figure having a 1984 copyright and Columbia Pictures written in there, kind of crudely, I will say. So there's certainly no way that you're going to pass off the new Hasbro figure as the original Kenner figure. All right, so this one is going to be fun. We have got the Green Ghost, aka Slimer. And as I've already mentioned, these are, once again, brand new molds. They're not the originals, but I will say Hasbro did an amazing, amazing job at recreating the Slimer figure. There's a few differences here and there, and mainly it's because the materials that this Slimer is made out of, that you can actually tell the difference, once again, from the old school Kenner figure and the new Hasbro Slimer. And speaking of that Kenner figure, let's actually move Hasbro Slimer to the right. Let's bring in the original Kenner Slimer. And once again, fantastic job all around here. I mean, these figures look so identical. I mean, there are a few things here and there. I mean, the biggest thing I noticed, obviously, were the eyes. The figures I've seen so far from Hasbro, it looks like one eye is like kind of lazy a little bit, a little off. But aside from that, for the most part, I mean, both of these figures look identical. The color treatment in the mouth area, they look perfect. I do want to touch on once again that these old school Kenner figures are like 30 years old. So when it comes to the overall like color of the figure, yeah, there's going to be a slight difference. But once again, the paint app, when it comes to like the tongue, the inside mouth, the teeth, I mean, all that looks perfect. In fact, let's turn both Slimers over so you can actually see. I mean, this was back in the days when Slimer in action figure form didn't have a butt, so I can't really rank it on, you know, the booty. You know, that's how I judge Slimer figures. But this one has that old school real Ghostbusters Slimer tail. And once again, they did an awesome job at recreating that detail here. I will say, though, this tail on the Hasbro Slimer does seem a little looser. Like, it's not like falling off by any means, and like when you move it, it stays. But yeah, there's a bit of a looseness. It's not really as stiff as the old school Kenner Slimer tail. Not that that really matters. Also, like I said, what the figure is actually made out of is a little different here in terms of the plastic. Like this, once again, is the Hasbro Slimer. And let me put some pressure on the head and like the bottom, like the jawline here. I cannot move this hardly whatsoever. There's hardly any give to it. Take the original Kenner Slimer. Let's grab him right quick. And as you can see, I mean, definitely a lot softer when it comes to the overall character. So to me, that is the biggest change here between these two figures. And that's really about it. If you put these two figures down in front of me, I'd be very hard pressed to tell you which was which without actually grabbing, once again, the Slimer and putting pressure. Overall, Hasbro did an amazing job with Slimer. Oh, actually, I should call him the Green Ghost, because once again, on the packaging, he is referred to as the Green Ghost. So once again, Hasbro did an amazing job on the Green Ghost. But that is not all. He did come with accessories, but you know what? Before we touch on the accessories, let me do, once again, touch on Slimer or the Green Ghost articulation here, because much like Stay Puft, he is just loaded full of articulation. 3 points. We got the tail, as we've already mentioned there, and we've got the left and right arms here. And that is pretty much it. I mean, toys nowadays, you've got 36 points, 50 points of articulation. Back in the 80s, we just needed 3, and we were happy. All right, so when it comes to accessories, Slimer comes with 3 items, and I am so excited to have these once again in my hand. I had them as a kid with obviously the original Slimer figure that I have right here. I've been showing you guys, but I don't remember having these for too long as a kid. I think they either got thrown out or I damaged them over the years or what have you there. But yeah, I haven't actually held these items in many years, so I'm really pumped to actually have these recreations in my hand. First and foremost, we've got this big slab of beef steak. I don't know, beef with fat on it. Cool, like little piece. Once again, these are all food items to go with Slimer. We've got the watermelon with a big bite out of it, and then we've also got my favorite item here, the pizza pie, once again with a large bite out of it. Such cool items, and I mean, they're really bringing out the nostalgic like vibes in me. I really love this. I mean, honestly, out of the 6 figures, this is going to sound dumb. I think I may like this pizza the most, because I remember like playing with this as a kid, both with my Ghostbusters and my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. Just really fond memories of, once again, these like 3 little plastic pieces of food. The bend also feels pretty similar. I think it's a little stiffer than the originals, but once again, I don't have the originals here to compare, but feels a little stiffer, I think. But overall, really happy with these 3 accessories that once again go along with Slimer. So guys, I strongly recommend these figures: Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the Green Ghost Slimer. I mean, if you don't have the original figures from like back in the day, the Kenner line, you cannot pass up these. I mean, they're such cool collectibles. Once again, especially for 15 bucks to get a minty fresh white looking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, look how crisp and clean he looks for $15. It's a heck of a deal. Like I said, sure, there are some differences here and there, especially with the Stay Puft, but overall, I think not a lot of people are really going to notice unless you're really going to be nitpicking, or if you do have once again, the original Kenner figure side by side, you're not really going to notice all those differences, all those like little changes. And for the most part, I think mainly with Slimer and the main 4 Ghostbusters, it is really hard to tell, for the most part, the changes that actually exist between the original Kenner line and the new Hasbro recreations. And I really hope that Hasbro doesn't end here. I want more classic figures. I mean, I would love to see them actually kind of recreate figures that were a bit rare to track down. Like, I don't know, real Ghostbusters Ecto-Glow figures. I mean, I don't have those in my collection, and it crushes me, and I want them so bad. But the prices on eBay, I mean, like 250 bucks a figure, that's crazy. Hasbro, get on that, recreate Ecto-Glow figures. I mean, that can be your next venture. Or maybe, I mean, when Real Ghostbusters, the toy line, ended, there was other figures planned that never actually came out. I mean, Hasbro, how about you actually release those planned figures that never saw the light of day? Like, really, the sky's the limit with this line. I just want more Real Ghostbusters retro goodness from Hasbro in the coming years. And that does it for our look at the Real Ghostbusters Kenner Classic line from Hasbro. Once again, this is like our 3rd video overall. We did the first video where we took a look at Stay Puft and Slimer and the packaging. Today's video is kind of the continuation of that. We also have the full video where I took a look at the main 4 Ghostbusters: Ray, Peter, Winston, and Egon. You've got to check out that video if you haven't already. Those figures are just beautiful. Oh, and big news, guys. Right here on the phone, just got sent something. The figures, the main 4 figures, Ray, Peter, Winston, and Egon, they're showing up right now at Walmart Canada locations. So if you're like me and you're in Canada and you want the main 4 Ghostbusters, there's been no word yet on Stay Puft or Slimer, at least as of this recording, but the main 4 Ghostbusters right now are showing up at Walmart locations in Canada. Head to ghostbustersnews.com for more information on that. And yeah, I mean, if you're in Canada, you're not going to have to spend a ton of money, you know, paying the shipping and handling to get them sent up here, like some people had to, who remain nameless. So like I said, guys, that does it for today's video. As always, be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. Bust that little bell notification icon, and I am going to see everybody right back here next time. Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube.